Xbox 360 collection. And my Xbox 360 collection isn't as big as my Xbox One, Xbox Series X collection. And I got a weird history with the 360 because during this generation, I was in a rough point in my life. So I actually lost my original collection some years ago, lost everything, missed the last few years. So there are a lot of games this generation from that generation that are actually new to me. Some that I did play and just want to relive again and add to my collection, and others that are backwards compatible. So I'm going to start here with Red Dead Redemption, and a handful of my 360 games are in the Xbox One or Series style size cases here. And that one of them is Red Dead Redemption, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, which many think is the best Fallout game, and Justice Gods Among Us, and this is one with all the characters, Lobo and all them. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, everybody on here was at it. One of my favorite games I ever played, Kingdoms of Amalur, and I also have the remaster. The Fable trilogy, which I do have their original cases. I just ended up getting these styled because I really like them. Yeah, so the Fable trilogy. Borderlands. Oops, that's the wrong one. Here it is, the 360 version of Borderlands 1. I got the case somewhere, I just can't seem to find it. So I put it in the Game of the Year edition case. You've seen this one as well, the Batman Arkham Origins and Assassin's Creed 1. So this next deck here, these are also backwards compatible games for the 360 and also added to my collection. And most recently, 50 Cent Blood in the Sand, Onechabara of Orcs and Men, really cool looking RPG. Another favorite of mine, Alice Madness Returns. It's an excellent game. I got the Lost Planet trilogy, Lost Planet 2 and Lost Planet 3. So yeah, I got the trilogy here. And these are a great set of third-person shooters that I do recommend you pick up for the console. Sacred 3 and Sacred 2. These two games are actually vastly different. I think Sacred 2 is way better than 3 because this is like a Diablo style action RPG, right? This one, it kind of keeps that top-down perspective, but it's not nearly as, like the RPG elements aren't nearly as robust and detailed. Instead of a large selection of players, I think you have like 4 in this one. I don't know, it's not as good. Max Payne 3, I also have Max Payne 1 and 2 for the original Xbox. But yeah, this is a fantastic game that's backwards compatible. The greatest trilogy in gaming, Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 3. What can I say? Just a fantastic set of games. All 3 are also backwards compatible. You also have the Legendary Edition, which if you're a first-time Mass Effect player, I say go to Legendary Editions. All 3 games in one, and they're all at 4K 60, runs well, looks gorgeous, and all that stuff. But to have the originals. Fun fact: when Mass Effect 3 came out, I took 2 weeks off my birthday that time and played all 3 back to back. Just that's how I experienced Mass Effect. Ninja Theories Enslaved Odyssey to the West, a very awesome game. I got Overlords, and Overlords 2 is also backwards compatible. Bound by Flame, a really cool RPG. Risen 1 and 2. These are like made by this German developer, Piranha Bytes. They're actually kind of janky, but they actually have some fun to them. And First Templar, a really cool game, action adventure game. A sealed copy of Mortal Kombat vs. DC. I actually played it years ago, And it's weird. It has a kind of similar story to remember Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Kind of similar story, except to me it was done way better in this one. And now they did censor a lot of the fatalities because you're not gonna have Batman and Superman killing them, right? Catherine, backwards compatible. Fun fact: the remaster is not playable on Xbox One. For some reason, it skipped Xbox One builds on 360. And Divinity 2, awesome set of RPGs. Actually, I think this has two games in one. The Night Saga, I think it's called Flame by Vengeance. Yeah, two adventures in one. Yeah, Flame by Vengeance and Ego something. Alright. Also has some loose discs. So these are some games that I purchased in GameStop years ago. And they didn't have cases, they just came in these little sleeves. Brutal Legends, which is backwards compatible on Xbox and is an awesome action adventure game. Two Worlds and Two Worlds 2, which when I purchased these, I thought that they were something different than what they were. They're actually not good at all. They don't look good, they don't play good or nothing. But a game that does play good, and I think it's backwards compatible, is Syndicate. I believe this is backwards compatible too. Yeah, so those are my loose games. I don't have don't have the cases for them before when I bought them. An awesome set of superhero games is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2. And this is the gold edition that had all the DLC characters that were only on the 360 at the time. And Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, which I enjoyed a little more than 1 because it actually looked like it played like a next-gen game at the time. But both games are fantastic. And they're in that X-Men Legends formula. The Cursed Crusader. This is an awesome game from Atlas, a company that don't put games on Xbox anymore. But yeah, the Cursed Crusader. Now, forgot to mention this last stack here are games that are not backwards compatible. Divinity 2, Ego Draconis. This is a pretty good RPG. Dark Sector is an awesome game. And he got that Galvin here that he uses as his main weapon, and he also used his gun. It's kind of like a mix of a cover shooter third person game that we got a lot during the 360 era, but really good game. The Amazing Spider-Man is a really cool Spider-Man game based off the movie. The gameplay is fast and fluid. The gameplay has that Arkham style button combinations, but a little more faster paced because it's Spider-Man, but it's a good game. Let's see, Risen 3. This one is not backwards compatible, but it is. That's why it's in this stack. But yeah, Risen 3, the third game in this series. Here's a set of Xbox exclusives: 99 Nights 1 and 2. Which, I mean, if you're gonna call it 99 Nights 2, isn't that just 100 nights? But that's besides the point. Anyway, these are cool hack and slash style games. And then when you get to the boss is tough as hell. It's kind of weird, but they're enjoyable. They're enjoyable games, and these are like from the early days of the 360. Here's an awesome hack and slash style game, Lollipop Chainsaw. Yeah, man, this game is dope, man. You play as Juliet here. This is just a really fun game. Alpha Protocol is an awesome RPG from Obsidian, and this was when Sega was actually publishing unique and new games instead of just releasing old Sonic games. But yeah, Alpha Protocol is an awesome RPG from Obsidian. Another Sega published game, Vikings Battle for Asgard. This is a really cool and brutal hack and slash game. If you're like me and just a fan of like hardcore violence in games, give this game a try. Alright, so this next set of games, X-Blades and Blades of Time. So X-Blades is the first game in this series, and then Blades of Time is the sequel. And again, these are like a mix of that shooter, action adventure, hack and slash style. And it did kind of remind me, we don't get many hack and slash games anymore, huh? Like brand new ones. in this style are like the Castlevania games or like Dante's Inferno, right? It's not just me. Other than the Samurai Jack game, I can't think of many. Oh, here is it. Lord of the Rings is the one IP that seems to have a lot of awesome games, and War of the North is another one in that set. It's an RPG, and like you play as three characters at the same time, or something like that. A lot of fun. I really do. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna end up completing this. But this game, when I saw it and I picked it up for like $10, right? And it's way better than I would have thought. A really cool stealth game here, Velvet Assassin, and I believe she's based off a lady from World War II era. Now it's not exactly based on her, like they changed her name and stuff, but I think that's where the inspiration came from. But check it out, it's a great game. Here's another awesome game, Remember Me, where you play as Nilin and Neo Paris. I absolutely love this game. This game came out late in the 360 era, right? And I remember, when my introduction to this game was watching someone stream it, and I was like, what game is this? Remember Me. And then I ended up picking it up myself and trying it, and it's a great game. The combat is really cool and everything. The story is a lot of fun. Nilin's a great character. I wish it were successful. Here's a game I wish was backwards compatible because it was from Bethesda, who published it. It was Wet, and Wet has that I guess Max Payne style gameplay, if you will. It's like very fast paced, very shooter heavy, and you could do like the time slowdown stuff while playing it. It's really cool. It's a really cool game that again I do wish was successful, but if you see it, pick it up. And what's weird, I thought it was backwards compatible when I put it in my Xbox. It said it wasn't, so I guess it isn't, which I could have sworn it was. Another Bethesda game that I wish was backwards compatible is Hunted: The Demon's Forge, and this is another action adventure game from that era. It has some RPG elements to it, but for the most part, you'll be playing as these two. I haven't actually started it yet, but the gameplay looks a lot of fun, and I can't wait to check it out. Alright, so Venetica. Venetica was an early Xbox 360 game. This is an RPG where you play as, her, as you see. Yeah, the game is actually kind of fun too. Not great, but it's one of them games that if you're like me, you could just kick back and enjoy it. But yeah, it's not Mass Effect level great, but it's not terrible either. But a good game. We got Superman Returns here. This was a very early Xbox 360 game. It was weird. See, at the time in like 2006, I thought the game looked amazing. Now, this game did not age well, but it's a Superman game, something we don't seem to get, even though hopefully Rockstar or one of them WB studios finally make one in the future. Hopefully they do. Green Lantern: Rise of the Manhunters, based on the movie. And the game actually isn't that bad. It's kind of got that X-Men Legends feel to it, right? If you will, the camera's pulled back. Don't really have heavy RPG elements, but still the camera's pulled back, and you got the Green Lantern powers and all that stuff. It's a cool game though. I really enjoy it, and this might be the only Green Lantern game I'd get in my lifetime at this rate. So I take what I can get. Wolverine Origins, X-Men Origins Wolverine is an awesome game. This is a hack and slash of hack and slash. It is brutal. It is brutal and bloody. Wolverine is all over the screen, just cutting people up with his his claws here. Oh man, what a game! If the PS4 game is anything that I'll be stunned if the PS5 version of the game is as brutal as this game. That's how raw it is, man. And it's great for it. Even though it's got the stupid movie version of Deadpool instead of the actual Deadpool, it's still a fun game. And at the end of the day, that's what we play games for. And last of my physical collection, The Saboteur. This is an awesome open world game. I think I think Pandemic unfortunately went under at the end of the 360 era. Or maybe it was last generation. Unfortunately, I don't think they're around. But this was a great game that I don't think did well, but everybody who's played it was like, hey man, you gotta check it out. This game is very underrated. And that's the big reason why I bought it, because of the word of mouth I heard from people who played it, and I enjoyed it. It's based in World War II. It is a very good open world kind of stealthish game. Check it out if you can. The Saboteur. All right, so that's my. All right, here's the digital games. I just put all my games under this. But Alan Wake is a great horror game that is now been re-released as a remaster. But I don't need the remaster. I already got this version. Asura's Wrath is a very, very, very fun game. I haven't actually played it yet, but from what I heard, it's actually quite awesome. Binary Domain. Yeah, again, like I said, Sega during the 360 era was producing some great games, and this is one of them. Binary Domain. Um, let's see, Bully, Rockstar, another company, gaming company that's fallen off a cliff. Before Rockstar made one game a generation, they were giving us stuff like Bully, Manhunt, Midnight Club, along with Red Dead and GTA. So yeah, to see the fall of them as well to being what they are now also sucks. But yeah, so Bully, backwards compatible as well. Yes, these are my digital games that are playable on both 360 and Xbox One and Series X. The Castlevania games, Harmony of Desire is more of a classic style, but the ones that I really like are Castlevania Lords of Darkness 1 and 2, because they're like the more AAA hack and slash style that I really, really enjoy. And Mirror of Fate is a hack and slash as well, and then it's kind of like a 2.5D side scroller. I got Conan, recently backwards compatible as of last year. Oh, the Crackdown game, 1 and 2. Oh, these games are awesome. Especially Crackdown 1. Now, Crackdown 3 is my favorite of the three, but Crackdown 1 was a great start, and then Crackdown 2 kind of had, what was it, like where the people got infected or something like that? It's been a while since I played that one. The Crisis Trilogy games. These were also a lot of fun FPS. And then Dante's Inferno. Again, like I said earlier, during the 360 generation, we got a lot of great hack and slash games, and for some reason, with the exception of Samurai Jack and Darksiders 3, I can't think of many that we got recently that are like that. Dark Void is fun. The controls are a little wonky, but its concept is really cool. The Dead Space games, Dead Space 1, 2, and 3, a fantastic set of horror games. Some of the best there is. Absolutely love the Dead Space game. Deus Ex Human Revolution is a fantastic RPG, and it's one that I suggest if you're an RPG lover, give it a try. Back when BioWare was killing it, man. Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2, another great set of RPGs that I recommend to anybody who likes that genre. Next, we got Fairy. And this game is made by Spiders, the guy who made Greedfall and Bound by Flame. It's definitely, to me, their weakest game. It's more turn-based, but even as it's turn-based, it's not that great. The Far Cry games, Far Cry Classic 2 and 3. I love Far Cry. It's my second favorite Ubisoft property. So of course I would recommend those games. Final Fantasy 13 and 13 2. These games I believe got the FPS boost, and they got Xbox One X enhanced. So check them out. Forza Horizon 1. I might get the physical version just to have it in my collection. But yeah, Forza Horizon 1 backwards compatible. Frontline Field of War. We got this. I'm not sure what game is this here. Garu Mao. I'm not sure. It was a fight. Honestly, this one of those games I just picked up because it was on Games with Gold. And if you don't know, OG Xbox and 360 Games with Gold games are pretty much like giving it to you for free. Even if you don't have Xbox Live, you'll still have access to play them. I got the Gears games, and this is why I don't have games like Gears and Halo physically, because I got them digitally. And so Gears 1, 2, 3, and Judgment, all great games. Especially like Gears 3, the moment with Dom was one of the most emotional moments in the game, and just classic games. And Gears One, if this game influenced the whole generation, because after Gears One, damn near every third-person game was a cover-based shooter or had some type of cover-based mechanic. After that game blew up, GTA 4, Nico Bellings is a great protagonist, and this was a great game. Halo Reach, a fantastic Halo game. Hydro Thunder, this game, I believe it was Games with Gold, and I believe it was delisted. I'd say if you see it in the store, go ahead and pick it up because it's free. I got Hydrophobia from Games with Gold as well, and it's a cool kind of survivalist game, and it's pretty much a game of water levels, and it's actually not bad. Jetpack Refueled is from the Rare Replay. Oh, the Just Cause 1 and 2, very fun open world games. King of Fighters 13, a fighting game that I say you check that out. Lego Batman 2. Yeah, this is one of them games with gold games. I recently picked up some Lego games, and they're okay. They didn't blow me away, but they got the job done. So you got Lightning Returns. Oh yeah, this is the Final Fantasy 13, like the third game. Lost Odyssey. Oh yes, Lost Odyssey, the classic Xbox 360 JRPG. Yeah, if you see it, check it out. A lot of people love it. Marlo's Briggs. Marlo's Briggs is an awesome kind of, classic God of War style hack and slash. Mars Warlogs is an RPG. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance is an awesome game as well. Yeah, that's a really awesome game. I think it was made by Platinum Games too. Mirror's Edge is great. Neo Geo, let's see here. Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. I haven't played it yet, but again, it was free, so I picked it up. Now, Nair is awesome, and this one was called, I think it was called Nair Gestalt in Japan and just Nair here, but yeah, Nair is actually really good, and I like the remake they did as well, Nair Replicant. And of course, I when these games are back, I had to get my Ninja Gaiden. Come on, man, it's Ninja Gaiden, right? Orcs Must Die. This was free on Games with Gold, and it was a lot of fun. Oh, Overlords 2. I think this was on Games with Gold as well, and it's why I don't have it physically, because I already had it when I got Overlords. Port Royale 3 was free. I did purchase Prince of Persia off the store. Prince of Persia and Rage. Both are really good games. Prince of Persia back in the day was a great series, great action adventure series. And Rage 1 was a great first-person shooter. Resident Evil Code Veronica X and Operation Raccoon. Now, Raccoon City is FPS boosted, and Veronica X is a great game. And and I love the Resident Evil series. I got Saints Row 1 and 2. Again, these are by Saints Row 3, it kind of had its identity of being wacky. 1 and 2 were very, very, very more like GTA clones, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Samurai Showdown 2 is a fighting game. The Streets of Rage collection was a collection of one of my favorite Sega Genesis games. And Sonic Generations is an awesome Sonic game where you play as classic Sonic and modern Sonic. The SpongeBob True for Square was free, so that's why I got it off Games with Gold. Star Wars The Force Unleashed 1 and 2 are great Star Wars games, especially the first one. The second one was a little short, but since it's super cheap on the store, you could just pick it up and have fun. And the first one is Xbox One X Enhanced. Tekken 6 and Tekken 6 and Tekken Tag Tournament are some cool fighting games. The Splinter Cell games. Double Agent, Conviction, and Blacklist. Blacklist and Conviction in particular are fantastic, and Double Agent is great. And fun fact, the OG Xbox and 360 versions are both backwards compatible, and they're both different games. So yeah, check. So if you have one, don't think that you have a copy of the other. No, they're two different games. The Tomb Raider Underworld, Anniversary, and Legends. So the classic Tomb Raider games. Too Human. This surprised everybody because first of all, I remember because this game had a lot of drama behind it, right? So I think the physical copies were pulled or or something like that. There's a lot of drama. I forgot the story. So when people saw Phil Spencer playing it, everybody was like, "Huh? How's he playing this game?" The developer, I believe they were sued and all this stuff. I thought that game was dead, dead. And then they gave it away from free, and that's why I downloaded it. And it's actually a pretty unique RPG. Torchlight is a Diablo style game. The Witcher 2 is really good Witcher game, and it's not as long as Witcher 3 if Witcher 3 intimidates you. And last but not least, Zone of the Enders. So there it is, my digital and physical Xbox 360 collection. Let me know what you think, and I'm out.